for the feed to catch up. Here we go, we're live. What's up, everybody? That's good, thank you. If you guys are really putting on a show here. So, again, welcome into this little quick bass. Oh, I'm on this camera, I'm staring at the wrong camera. What's up, everybody? We haven't done one of these live events for quite some time. My name's Anthony Pecora. I am the bass guy, director of marketing and content here at Empire Music. You probably know me from all the videos that I've done talking about bass, talking about effects, talking about pedals. I don't do too much of that content anymore. We'll get back to it. And yeah, we're just kind of hanging out here Friday afternoon. We're really trying to get our live rig kind of back running here. So my idea behind that, what's up, Adam Jet? What's going on, man? If you see me looking this way, that's me checking the comments because, again, we're still working through everything. Oh, we got 11 people in the room. What's up? I'm good. We can end the stream now. No, we're not. We're going to hang for about a half an hour. Maybe something goes a little longer than that. Brent, everything cool on your end?
So far.
All right, yeah. So, you know, Joe and I used to do what was called a happy hour hang all the time, like once a month. So not all the time. And actually, as I went back through the history of those happy hour hangs, we did like 4 or 5 of them. Maybe I deleted some after. I don't know. I feel like we did more than that. But it was cool. It was like a little Friday, early evening, late afternoon kind of hang, and just we would talk about the kind of status of the shop as far as some of the things that were happening, some of the gear that was coming in and going out. Yeah, it was just sort of like a state of the union out to the public, at least what we could share out to the public, right? So figure, you know, Joe and I and Justin, we were all talking about like kind of some things that we really wanted to do for 2025. And one of them was bringing back the live event thing, but we want to do it with instruments as I'm holding a bass here. And I don't know how many of you out there have tried to do a live stream. It's not a plug and play thing. Brent and I, just to set this up, which again, we have like no set, like it's just, we're really, really holding on by a thread here, even just to do this. Maybe it's user error. I don't think so though. Brent and I, we're pretty smart when we put our minds to something. I mean, we spent, I'd say, Brent, what would you say? 5 hours of our time setting this up, and like audio issues, mic issues, bass issues, stream issues. And to the 13 people in this room, you might experience some streaming issues, right? So it's just, it's a learning experience every time we do one of these. But really the point of it today, because we could go direct with bass, which is what I have going on, and then we just have the little lavalier mic right here, all kind of running into an interface, into a little video switcher. And we really want to get into doing it with acoustic guitars, electric guitars, so on and so forth. But we figure the more mics that we introduced into the room, the more chances we have of phasing, the more chances we have of not just phasing, failure, I guess. So we want to mitigate those things right out of the gate here. So we figure bass was a relatively easy way to do this, because I could talk through the lavalier. I can tap on it here. Apologize for this, but there's the lavalier. And then we can also play some bass. As I'm looking up at the monitor, we can even switch the video there, like the amazing technology we have. So anyone out in the stream, there's 11 of you. I need somebody to just let me know, how does how's everything sound? Is vocal quality okay? Is bass loud, quiet? What's going on here? Because I'm just hearing my monitor mix. Can I get any feedback from any of you guys out there as far as the sound. It might not be perfect, and that's okay. We're not looking for perfection. We're just kind of looking for, is the mix all right? So let me know if you guys are experiencing any audio issues. Everything kind of looks good on my end and sounds good on my end. In fact, I'm going to unplug my monitors for 1 second here. Oh, Adam Jett, my man. Good sound, good video, perfect bass. Well, yeah, the bass is perfect. Let's talk about the bass here. And I got 3 up here so we can do some experimenting with it. I have some pedals down here too. So I have a looping pedal, and a couple effects and a volume pedal just to mute it like that. All right, so the bass I'm holding here, and I've done millions of hours of content on these, both here for Empire Music and personally, to spend a lot of time with these instruments. This is the Empire 58 Precision Bass. This one, God, I forget the finish of it. It's not pewter. I think it's maybe Shoreline Silver. Oh God, I can't remember the finish on this. Anyway, it has the mint green guard on it, which is our newest kind of iteration color-wise. It's the newest addition to our lineup there. So these basses, something in my throat. This is what happens live on air. Excuse me 1 second. Pardon me. Jesse G, sounds great. Thank you. David, what's up, man? I appreciate you watching those reviews. Inca Silver, Stephen Sadler. You're the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know I'll relate this to. I don't know if any of you do any recording out there, audio, video, whatever. When that little red light turns on, all the things that you have prepared in your head just go away. They just go away. I'll relate a pretty funny personal experience that similar to that happened at a pretty big life event, if it circles back around. Let's talk basses here, right? So Inca Silver, Stephen Sadler with the save there. Inca Silver on the mint green guard. It's an awesome, awesome color combination. And roasted alder body, roasted 1-piece quarter sawn maple neck, 60s oval C is the neck profile on it. 9.5 radius on the fretboard. The engine that drives everything, I say that a lot in the videos, is the Empire 58 precision bass pickup in that. That is a pickup that is available exclusively here at Empire Music. We developed that pickup with Vincent Van Tricht, formerly of the Fender Custom Shop. He was the heralded builder, whether we're talking bass, Strat, Tele, whatever it was. Anything Vincent touched was golden. He helped us develop this pickup. Sent us some prototypes. Oh, we got 16 people in the room. This is great. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. This was a very thrown together thing, and we didn't advertise it at all because this was kind of a real world test. And I just put like an Instagram, Facebook post up, put it in a bass forum like an hour ago. So really, really appreciate you guys hanging out. So Vincent sent us a few prototype pickups, and I blind tested them in basses, ended up kind of settling on this, which was taking the 62 hand wound pickup that they offer and underwinding it a bit. And that added a little bit of compression to that. It took a little bit of dB gain off of the pickup, but for my touch, and there was a selfish element to building this bass, was that I built it really to what I wanted. I owned a 2018 58 black on black P bass, which is somewhere in Colorado now, I think, because I did end up selling that because I bought 2 of these for myself. And so it was like a selfish move on the pickup because it was like what worked for my attack. These have been hugely popular, and it ended up working for a lot of people's playing. What's up, Mark Garrow? Thanks, man. Appreciate that. So I think this bass gives you a little bit of everything. If you're looking for vintage P bass character with a lot of vintage P bass character with a little bit of modern sound, a little bit of modern touch. Sonically, what goes on with it. So I have no effects on this at all, and I have minimal effects down here. I'll run through those in a second. I had the looping pedal out here just because I was like, man, if nobody like shows up into these into this this live stream, I'll just play some loops, right? So I don't know, maybe we'll get into some of that, right? But anyway, so sonically with the instrument, right? Now I have the guards on here. Probably could have taken those off. I generally do play with them off. And I have two other basses behind me here. They all have the guards on them. Yeah, they do. Okay. So sonically, what goes on with these instruments? My screen's about to die. There, my battery plugged in? Yeah, we're good. All right, cool. So here we go. If you were sick of my playing in my videos, I know I get sick of my playing, of all of basically the little tricks and ornaments that I have. They're very few, and I overuse every one of them. You're gonna be very displeased in this video because now that red light's on and I have no rehearsal time, although I've been playing a lot of bass because I have a gig upcoming at the end of the month. So I've been like learning a massive, massive book of tunes, and not a bunch of tunes that I like. And I ended up liking them in learning them. There's a lesson to be learned in there. But you're gonna hear a lot of those little tricks that I always have on here. What is the best advice you can give for someone learning guitar in general? Tyler Facer, if I'm mispronouncing your last name, I apologize, Tyler. Practice, get good lessons, play with other people. And when I say practice, it is small increments. I think that's been proven over time here, that if you could put 15 or 20 minutes a day into concepts, rigid concepts, I think that's probably a good thing. And then, like, that's not all you should play. You should play as much as you can. When I first got into bass, I was probably playing, I mean, I'd play for hours and hours and hours, and I'd be like learning whatever, Chili Peppers tunes or 311 tunes. You know, I'm 46 years old, so I'm kind of dating myself there. But that was the stuff. And then eventually you develop some facility on the instrument. But as far as like rigid concepts, and I wish I could go back and know this when I was young. So if it's a major scale thing, right? If you just like play that in all the positions you can, and like, you know, really dive into that for small increments, and then just play some, do some ear training, basically meaning like play along to some records. You do all that stuff as much as you can, but just try to focus on it every day and don't blow yourself out, because you'd be amazed at what you absorb in those shorter increments. When I was younger, I just got right into playing in bands, and I developed a lot of bad habits that I still have to this day. A lot of my shortcomings as a player come from not taking like lessons or a real serious path into music. It was very much just like playing punk rock and playing with other people, which got that skill set high, but it did get me, it set me back a little bit. So later on in my 30s, when I started to think about music theory or anything like that, that's when I learned like dedicating small amounts of time to it really, really helps. So yeah, I would just say, you know, practice. And if you can take lessons, get a good instructor that kind of fits for you, can get you on I don't think a one-size-fits-all musical path is the right way to go. But just, you know, play a lot. Sorry, that was long-winded, but I love talking that stuff. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that. 46, you look well. Thanks, man. I don't know what that is, because I lived fast and loose through my 20s and 30s. So it didn't take too much of a toll on me. That's good. Yeah, Adam J. Yeah, best advice. Yeah, skip guitar and get to bass. If you want to get gigs, just get decent at bass. If you could just play root notes, fifths and octaves, and maybe some fourths in there too, you're good, man. That's funny. Show some of your tricks and amazing. I don't have any amazing skills, David. I appreciate that. We'll talk about the bass, and we'll dive into a little bit of that too. So sonically on the bass there, you heard full volume, full tone, right? Raspy, it's snappy enough. If I start rolling some tone off of that though, it tends to mellow out pretty easily. David, it's just minor pentatonics, man. All of that is just minor pentatonics. It's what it always is on my videos. Pick a key like A minor, nice and easy. So A minor, C major, E minor, G major, let's go. Pentatonics, that's all it is. And just moving it around the neck. So you see how that mellows out? And we roll tone all the way off on these. Now, it's interesting, when you roll tone off on an instrument, it doesn't, yes, it mellows out that top end, but with round wound strings on the bass, we can get into strings too, I think that's a big factor in how the bass sounds as well. These all come with rounds on them. But you hear, when you roll that tone, it's all the way off, you can still get some top end bite. So the inherent quality of the bass is still there, and it just really brightens up here. With full tone on it, right? Now we start to move our hand around. This is, I think, where the beauty of this bass really comes in. Then we move back here. Almost starting to flirt with like jazz bass territory there. And I have a jazz bass and I have a PJ back here too. So we could like kind of start to hear the difference. I think that the PJ is a massively misunderstood instrument as far as the pickup configuration and what does what on it. Because a PJ, specifically when used wide open, meaning both pickups on full, man, it is not a P bass. It's so far away from a P bass sound. There's a little trick there. So we'll get into some of that too, comparing. If you guys want to hear that stuff, let me know. But I only have 3 basses. So if you're on our website, which is empiremusic.com, by the way, I mean, we are here to talk about bass, but please go over to the website. Like I said, empiremusic.com. You see anything on there, give us a ring. We are open right now for like another hour and a half. Man, I'm like almost a half an hour into this. This is great. This is awesome, man. I'm so happy you guys are with us here, man. This is incredible. But it was, if you see anything on the website, give us a call, 412-343-5299. We take trades. So if you want to upgrade, hopefully you don't want to downgrade, but if you want to downgrade, that's cool too. We can help you out. We do outright buys. If you're on the website, up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a trade-in portal. Click right on that. You can submit a form. We'll email you back. We'll call you back. We'll figure something out. But we're always open to trades. We've been doing crazy stuff with used gear this year. And we have some really cool stuff planned for the summer. So kind of keep an eye out for that. But let's hear that this bass kind of plays like with effects a little bit on here. So one of my favorite effects here, if you guys have any questions at all, bass related, hopefully bass related, that's where I'm going to have my kind of hopefully best answer. Please ask away. Effects pedals, basses. I'll talk, personal bass stuff, anything, music, creativity in music, whatever it is. This is kind of an open forum. So if you want to ask it, I'll do my best to kind of answer it. And I'm going to get to some of these questions on here too. Actually, let's do that before we get into some effects there. So. David, that's the tricks, and I told you the tricks, minor pentatonics. Spring chicken, yeah, something like that. First proper guitar I won was a Fender. Oh, that's your first proper guitar, was a custom shop Telly? That's a really good way to start. Oh, what's up, Harry? What's going on, man? Well, I'll tell you one master built that isn't here. You know which one that is, man. That's that. My man Harry in the guitar there in the comment section bought a beautiful Austin McNutt master-built Empire 58, shipped overseas. And Harry runs a really cool YouTube channel. Check that out. Good content. He's been doing it for a long time. Tons of followers and really, really high quality videos. Great playing. It sounds great. It looks great. So check Harry and the guitar out. That's good. Or Harry and guitar, sorry. But there's probably some more Levi Perry's coming in. That's really the one that we're doing the majority of our work with in the custom shop. So keep an eye out for that. We kind of always have 5 or 6 Levi Perry's in the queue there. And they're amazing. As you know, you have that amazing Austin McNutt. It was in, what was that finish? Aged burgundy metallic, I think it was. Super cool. In different light, it looked like pink or orange or raspberry or red. Super, super cool. Fort Pitt Piano Company. I wonder who that is. The tone better be killer. Marty Ford. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. How do I play like you, bass man? Rishab Halder. Again, minor pentatonics. It's pick one key. Don't play over a lot of chords. That's where I feel comfortable. Avoid playing with a pick. Just learn how to play fingerstyle, like probably relatively poorly, and just play a lot, I guess, and repeat the same old stuff. I wish I had a better answer for you. The gold, 58. Oh, on the website, if you're talking the one that we have on there, Adam, that thing's ridiculous. It's frost gold. I should have brought that up here. I'm shocked. We are all shocked. Joe loved that bass when it came in, and he sees it all the time. He's like, I can't believe that thing's still here, because what's funny about the 58s, or guitars and basses in general, when you sell as much as we do, we know immediately when something's gonna sell. Like the perfect example, the last YouTube video I did and that I posted was the 66 Precision bass. And I did it in the natural one. And as soon as I opened that case, I said, this is gonna sell. I did the video, and sure enough, that bass sold before we even posted the video up. And now we're getting calls and emails on the natural 66. And there's a Lake Placid blue that's really nice, and there's a 3-tone sunburst that's really nice. But I knew when I opened that natural 58 or that natural 66, it was gonna sell. Happens all the time. But that frost gold, I can't believe that thing's still here, if that's the one you're talking about, Adam. It's so killer. And there's another one. There's actually aquamarine metallic. That came in with the black pick guards. And we were all like, oh, that's killing. And there's like 3 of them, and they like ended up sitting. So you really just never know, but the frost gold, certainly amazing. Brass nut or Graphtec nut, what would you use? I'll say this, David. I don't have a lot of experience with a brass nut. Certainly Graphtec ones I've played a few times on basses. I have a Federa on order, then that has a brass nut. That's gonna be, to my knowledge, and I've had a lot of basses throughout the years, in recent memory, I can't recall playing anything with a brass nut. I would assume that's nice sustain, a little bit adding like a little punchiness to the tone. It's also going to be very exact. It's also going to be very final. I don't know that we're filing a brass nut down, so any change like that would probably require a nut replacement. That also being said, I am the worst. Now I know I sell basses for a living, talk about basses for a living, which is a amazing position to be in here, and I'm grateful for it every day. I don't really care about that much of that stuff in my personal life. Like if I grab a bass, it could have a plastic nut on it, a bone nut, tusk, Graphtec, brass, whatever. And if I just like the sound and the feel of it, I kind of stopped thinking about the specs until something else would pop up, like preventing me from enjoying the experience with it. I very rarely mod basses. Again, modding them would take something happening, something going wrong with the bass essentially to do a mod. So that's just not really in my wheelhouse. I always relate this story where I owned a Nate Mendel bass, and I always said I hated P basses with thin nut widths on it. And that had the thin nut width. I played the bass for a year and a half before I realized that. And so there you go. Like when I fall in love with an instrument, all that other stuff, it doesn't matter the pickups or the neck profile or the fretboard. And that was 7 1/4, which I always told myself, I don't like 7 1/4. I like 9 1/2 or flatter. But it was 7 1/4 with like a 1.57 nut width on it, where I always would say, I want 9 1/2 and I want a 1.75 at the nuts. And none of that stuff to me really matters. So, find something you like and, go with it. If you find an issue, replace it. It's the beauty of the instruments, Ever throw a 4-string down to, no, not to B standard. I do a little bit of stuff in drop D with a current gig I have. But no, I never went down to B. I never played a 4 with a low B. I never tuned it down. Obviously, that's a pretty crazy step. I feel like maybe doable. I've never replaced a nut and turned it basically to the lower 4 of a 5-string. I've never done that. 58 for the win all day. Frost Gold. Yeah, I know, dude. How's that thing still here? Got a PJ Squire right now, just picking up tabs of whatever songs I want. Also know my resources to get. Yeah, so obviously get some lessons off someone locally. I'm talking to Rashab there. Again, apologize if I'm butchering your name there. I took a lot of lessons from a friend of mine and great instructor named Philip Mann, who at the time was with Scott's Bass Lessons. Now he's doing his thing that's called With Bass in Mind. He's an excellent resource for it. Obviously, locally here in the Pittsburgh area, we have a great lesson program. We have excellent bass instructors, guitar instructors. So if someone is here local, I say come into the shop, talk to us. Let's match you up with an instructor that's gonna set you out on a clear path, kind of with your goals in mind. That's important. I'll go back to the original thing, talking about learning instruments. Have goals. Don't just go into it like, do you want to play original music? Do you want to write music? Do you want to play jazz? Do you want to play R&B, funk, whatever it is? Or do you just want to go to open mics? Do you want to learn music theory? What is the path that's going to make it fun for you? So if it's playing Bruce Springsteen tunes, like, cool, then let's get you on a path to do that, or that's what you should be practicing, So tabs, just picking up tabs, any songs you recommend? Learn Pino Palladino lines. They can be advanced, but you should be listening to Pino Palladino. Listen to Tim LaFave. Listen to James Jamerson. Listen to Carol Kay. Listen to all the past masters. Listen to George Porter Jr. from the Meters. Listen to Phil Lesh, Mike Gordon from Fish. All those guys have such inventive and different bass styles. Listen, but if you had to go back, I would say you need to listen to Jamerson. You need to listen to McCartney, Carol Kay, Jerry Jamot. There's the list, Chuck Rainey. There's so many different things. But listen to the masters from the past. Listen to the current guys. Yannick Guizdalas, Tim LaFave, Ian Martin Allison, who's over on the Scott's Bass Lesson channels. He's a great, great player. He's the man. His lines are amazing. Michael League. Man, all those guys have such unique styles, but they can kind of bend genres too. But find people that you like listening to and listen to it and try and cop anything. If it's one bar of their phrases, then do it. But I'd say, if I had to go back, if I had to give you 3, I'd say listen to Jamerson. Try to understand what Jamerson's doing. That's the Motown bassist for those that don't know. Listen to Pino, because Pino's work spans so much, from pop to R&B, to hip hop to rock to. He played with Phil Collins, played with D'Angelo, and he played on a 9 Inch Nails record. Come on, man. Justin Meldal Johnson's another one too. Just if you want to just experience bass tone. So there's so many, but listen to those great players. Learn one bar of their playing will inform you for a lifetime. And probably my favorite, and he's somewhat overlooked, Paul Jackson from the Headhunters, who passed away the past couple of years. If I really had to distill it down, I would say that George Porter from the Meters and Paul Jackson are probably my two biggest influences, because everything that George Porter played, you know. It's a butchered sissy strut, but like everything that Paul Jackson played too, on like the. That's all Paul Jackson stuff. So I go back to like some of my tricks. Those are all out of the Paul Jackson book. So major influence, right? So that's that. Opinion on Meteora bass. Don't see many videos where people talk. You know, the Meteora is that's an interesting one. That's a great bass. Those pickups are really good in it. It's a body shape that is very well balanced. But it's definitely a divisive look on it. So I think the popularity waned a little bit because of the shape. But I'll say this, when you have it on a strap and even just sitting in your lap on your knee, it's a very well balanced bass, very powerful pickups, remarkably versatile though. The green one behind me, JR, is that's a PJ. That is a Fender Custom Shop Precision Bass Special. And then the natural one, which you probably can't see, and I'm a lot closer to the mic as I can tell right there, wow, is I forget the year on that. I think that's just a vintage jazz bass back there. Have you ever played a Ken Smith bass? Yes. Really great customer I've played them a few times. There was a local store that used to carry them. When I was a kid, I would just, fawn over those things. Because they're so good. They were like one of the OG boutique basses. Had a really good customer down in Florida, Freddie. Freddie, if you see this, hi, you're the man. He's bought a lot of Fender Custom Shop stuff off us. Has great taste in basses and is a really good customer. We have a lot of great customers here. Freddie's certainly at near or at the top of that list for me as a bass customer. Freddie traded in a Ken Smith, a burner. No, I don't know those. Maybe it was like a BN something, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Such a nice bass. The active electronics in it, those pickups, all that proprietary stuff that Ken Smith put in there, they have a distinct sound to it. And it's funny when people trade in basses like that, when I know they're coming in, if you know me at all, I love buying basses. Nothing will stop me from buying a bass. But I was like bracing for that to come in, because I was like, if it's really cool, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna buy it. And it was really cool. It was beautiful. It was a sound that in the very brief time I played it, didn't translate to me. There's other basses like that too. There is, someone from Empire put our collections in there. There you go. Whoever did that, thank you. Appreciate it. Somebody's watching out. Was that you? Brent, yes.
That's the green one.
What's that?
The link was.
Oh, cool. Thank you, man. That's Brent in the room here. I thought Justin or Joe might have been watching and popped that in there. Brent, you're the man. Thank you. Shout out to Brent Isaac too, our videographer here in the shop. Like it's the team unit here for getting this running. And every video that you see, he had his hands on, right? He edits it, he shoots it. So he goes unsung a lot of times, but does great work here at Empire Music. And all of the content that you watch out there wouldn't be possible without him. And popped some links. There he is, pushing it right there. Beautiful. I forget what I was saying. Oh, the Ken Smith stuff. So yeah, it's a very defined sound. So you gotta know that kind of works for you. It didn't work for me the time that I had played it very, very briefly. There's other brands like that too that are killer. Music Man Stingrays are kind of like that too. Amazing basses. They just have never fit for me. Spectres. I've owned Spectres and sold Spectres. We have a used one here. It's amazing. It's an amazing instrument. It's just for my touch and taste, it's just the P bass is what it is all day. We'll play a little bit more on this. We got a little chorus down here. We got the Way Huge Blue Hippo. If you guys have any effects questions, let me know. I'm an effects. I love effects. I don't play that much with it in our demo videos, but in my personal time and playing, it's a lot. Love the way that chorus works on a bass, specifically with a pick. Never thought I'd be playing pick live for people on a live stream, but I've gotten more. If you know our history on Empire videos, like the pick and I, we don't get along all that well sometimes, but I have a gig coming up for this summer. End of the month is the first one. It's like a 90s cover band. So a lot of the stuff's with a pick, so my pick chops actually feel decent. But check out when you put chorus on with a little bit of reverb. I have the Earthquaker Devices Ghost Echo down there. So Way Huge Blue Hippo into the Ghost Echo from Earthquaker Devices. You hear that cool kind of. Brian Parisi in the house, calling him out on BP in there. He's the man. That sounds. We can take the chorus off of that too. I wish I had the guard off. I do a little some like palm muting stuff. Vinny, just call me, man. We could send one to Brazil. We can figure something out for you there, man. Just shoot me an email, Anthony@empiremusic.com. Call the shop, 412-343-5299. We could honestly, I'm dead serious. We could probably figure something out to get you a bass down in Brazil if you were really interested in it. No pressure, but we could figure something out. Let's go back to clean. So let's dive through these different basses behind me here. I thought I'd only go about a half an hour, but we're already over that, which is pretty cool. I can't say thank you enough to everyone who's just kind of hanging out with us on here, man. It's great. It really makes me happy. So clean P bass, right? Let's dive into that. So I had a customer in the store yesterday, and the P bass. This is my catchphrase on the P bass. It's a one-trick pony. It's just the best trick, right? It fits in like every single musical situation. I'm gonna hit this volume pedal. We're gonna plug in this PJ real quick. This is gonna be great TV right here, or YouTube, or I don't know, whatever. How many people out there cut the cord on cable? Me and my girlfriend have. My fiance, excuse me, not my girlfriend. She's my fiance now. Valerie, if you're watching this, I love you, I'm sorry. We're recently engaged, so I'm still getting used to saying it. The tag's still on the bass, but whatever. So here is the PJ, right? Check this out. When you have both these, remember what that P bass sounded like. In fact, I can remind you. Here is with the jazz bass pickup off. So here's just straight P. Hear that kind of roundness, that woodiness that comes out specifically on that transient. When I say transient, that's that attack that you can hear, like my hands digging into the strings. All right, pretty straightforward there. Now, PJ is this. Very, very, very bright at that So again, straight P, PJ. On its own, it's not the most pleasing of sounds. I don't think so. And we can go just jazz bass too. So that is pretty much what you'd expect. So there's two kind of traditional sounds out of the PJ, and then the new sound, which is the straight, both pickups wide open. Right? And it's super bright, super punchy. Now, on its own, I think it's brash. I think it sounds brittle. I don't always love it. It always confused me. That being said, once I got that bass, this sound, playing with a pick. So even with fingerstyle, I'm getting ahead of myself. Even with fingerstyle, this sound sounded so good in a mix because it had all this information to it, meaning harmonic content. I say that in my videos a lot, but there's like low end represented, there's top end represented, there's upper mids, lower mids. All those things, when on its own, might not sound great to me. When you get those behind drums and cymbals and guitars, whether they're high gain, low gain, clean, dirty, whatever, man, it takes on kind of a life of its own. And then hearing this sound really kind of, when I got more into playing with a pick, and I wish I could palm mute better here. I need to take this one off. We're not going to do that live on the air. But this sound is cool. Like, that's a cool sound. And again, in a mix, it's even better. But when you palm mute, I'll do my best here. It gets almost like kind of that like bass 6 kind of vibe to it. It's thin, but it's cool, especially with reverb. That's not really reverb. That's more delay. And that's a mistake on my part, but we're learning together and we'll do better next time. That's all I can promise. Imagine that was reverb, right? Chorus too might be cool. Such a slick tone out of that. So just because you have a PJ bass doesn't all of a sudden mean like you have, it's just, when it's wide open, it is way brighter than you might expect. Maybe you have experience with it. My personal, when I first got one, my first PJ bass that I remember having, I don't know if I had one when I was a kid and just don't remember it. I don't think so though. Was a 2015 or 2016 Fender. They did a Magnificent 7 series back then. This is before I worked at Empire. And I think I got it from like a Sam Ash or something like that. Shh, don't tell anybody. And I was like, oh, I'll get the PJ. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be super versatile and I can do anything with it. And all I ended up doing was playing it, well, not with the effects, like a P bass, right? Like literally, I never even turned on the J pickup because I quickly realized that wasn't the sound for me at the time, right? So I'm gonna mute this again. Now keep this in mind too. So let's go back really, really quick. We remember what a P bass sounds like, right? And then we remember what a PJ sounds like. Listen to what a straight J sounds like. That also isn't what a PJ is. I think that almost might be the more confusing thing, is you think you're going to get the jazz bass thing out of the, you're getting the P bass thing at least when you solo the pickup, but you think that like both pickups wide open is going to give you the jazz bass thing, and it doesn't do that either. Here's the jazz bass thing. Whoop, something was off. Different than the PJ. You're more into the way the mid-range focuses on a jazz, like it's scooped out differently in this, with those straight single coil pickups working together there. It's like the ultimate slap bass to me. Like you can mess around and get on all these active basses, soap bar pickups, and I love those basses. I own stuff like that. I think they're so killing, but you can never mess with just the jazz bass thing. Cool with some chorus on it too, probably. Yeah. I can play that stuff all day long. I love the sound of a jazz bass like that. It's so cool. But now you don't get another, I think some people might get wrong or interpret wrong, is that you can just get the P bass thing out of the front pickup of a jazz, which is also not the case, because now we hear just this front pickup, right? It's like a thinner version of the P bass. There's more elasticity of the sound. It's like a little bit more rubber bandy, if that makes sense. Still cool though. And then you really get a very definitive jazz bass kind of sound when we solo the bridge pickup. So that's kind of the rundown there. P bass versus PJ versus J. They all have their uses. They're all cool. They all have a very, you add layers of versatility in different ways. The only one that doesn't give you versatility is the P bass, but it fits, God, I don't know, 98% of the time. Or actually, I think the P bass, you could probably make the argument that it fits 100% of the time. There's never a situation, like, yeah, you might want a different bass in a fusion situation, let's say. Playing like Chick Corea tunes, or you're trying to play, you know, like the Patitucci kind of sound or something. But if you did it on a P bass, it's fine. It's totally fine. Where vice versa, if you were playing a Motown gig and you showed up with like the Patitucci Yamaha bass or something, like, yeah, that's not gonna, yeah, you're gonna get through the gig, the notes are the notes, but like, that ain't the right sound for that. Like the P bass is just never gonna be the absolute wrong choice. It just fits so many different spots. So any questions? We're in like almost an hour into this thing, what I thought we're gonna go for 45 minutes. So fire away some questions here, guys, if you have anything left here. Lorenio, again, sorry if I'm butchering your name there. Is Fender Custom Shop hand-wound jazz bass pickup? Is Fender Custom Shop hand-wound jazz bass pickup, is it the same pickup? They put out many different, yeah, so they definitely do a 70s pickup and like a 60s pickup. I know at one point in the design guide, I think I recall seeing a 60s and a 70s pickup. Now I think it might just be vintage jazz bass or a 75 jazz bass, because I'm almost certain that this PJ has the 6570P pickup in it and the 75J pickup in there. So I'm almost certain that is one of them. So if you want the 70s, I equate that generally to like the more mid-rangey, kind of pushed upper mid-range sound. The 60s gives you a little bit more warmth, so maybe we're accentuating like the 350 hertz spot, where like the 70s is giving you like 750, 725 hertz. And the only reason I pull those numbers out, I'm not some audio savant that just knows these hertz. I don't know it unless I'm looking at something. But the American Ultra 2 has a switchable mid-range thing on it that is 325 and 750, I think. So that makes sense, and I can kind of hear that in those instruments. And then 70s obviously is a 1/4 inch back towards the bridge, typically. But you get some cool things when you think about putting 60s pickups in 70s position, 70s pickups in 60s position. I think there's a lot of cool possibilities out there. So I believe that's the only two that are available in the line there. Hopefully, that could always change this. So hopefully that answers the question there. Adam Jett, thanks for the rant. Adam, you've been on here all the time, the whole time, Adam. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the Random Friday stream. Have a great weekend, everyone. See, Adam is thanking everyone in the stream. What a guy, right? And so am I. I'm thanking everyone now that has like hung out in the stream. I mean, honestly, I was hoping to get 5 people in here. The fact that we were up around 30 at some points, and just we've had a lot of viewership in here. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So this was kind of the test run. I'm going to make sure that I certainly am going to do this, maybe not every week. The workload here at Empire Music changes all the time. It's an ebb and a flow. I don't know. What did you just try to post, Brent?
Nothing. Jet stream. It's a joke.
What? I don't. Okay. It's over my head. But we're going to try and get back to doing this more regularly. We're going to try and figure out a way to get Joe in here and talk about acoustic guitars, because that's a big part of our business too. We're massive dealers with Martin Custom Shop, Taylor Custom Shop. And we're going to try, the next step in this evolution of the live thing is getting one mic here. Maybe we nix the lav so we don't have any phasing issues between the guitar and that. So maybe we're going to get like one mic centered here. We can hear some guitar, but you guys can fire a lot of questions off Joe. We'll get Justin in here, because I think we could probably set up a pretty good rig with electric guitar too, but certainly with bass. I'll get back at you guys maybe next month. This is May, April, May, June. Maybe in June I'll hang back out. We'll do some advertising behind it next time and try to let you guys know when to expect it. Maybe we can get some more people in this room, even though I'm incredibly happy to get the results that we got through this. So, greatly appreciate you hanging out with me on a Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Thanks for talking bass. Thanks for any questions. If you need anything at all after this stream's over, give me a call at the shop, 412-343-5299. You can email me directly. It's anthony@empiremusic.com. The website is empiremusic.com. You go on there. We have financing available. We take trades. There's a trade-in portal in the upper right-hand corner. That's up here. You can chat with us through the site. And also, if you're perusing through the inventory on there and you see the picture of a bass that looks like this, it doesn't just look like this. It is this bass. We use no stock photos on really anything. Very few things, maybe some Squier stuff, maybe some pedals and things like that. But any nice bass or guitar, you're going to see a serial number in that listing. And that is going to be the actual guitar. So if you have any questions, you can call or email us and reference that 5-digit code in the listings. And we'll certainly be happy to answer any questions that you might have on it. So again, thank you so much for hanging out on this little random Friday thing. We'll see you for another live stream here shortly in the future. My name's Anthony at Empire Music. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Awesome, dude.